Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crypto Corner live at Crypto Traders News and simulcast at the Sovereignty Network. You can find us at CryptoTradersPro.com, the #1 place to learn how to trade like a professional. I'm having intermittent internet issues today, so if the feed's a little bit choppy, please let me know and accept my apologies before before there's issue. Anyways, I think I'm not even sure how well I'm being broadcast right now because my internet has been intermittent all day for no reason. I've checked all the connections. I've rebooted everything. I don't know what the heck's happening. It's possible that that the government is trying very hard to silence me because of my something of a social media war against Representative Bradley Sherman, who I made a YouTube video about the other day and have it has gone somewhat viral and is upsetting the powers that be. Probably not really, but we're having we're having some interesting feedback about the general direction of our communications out in the cryptosphere. So before I start, because this is a live video, I have to remind everybody that I am not a registered investment advisor. Not a registered investment advisor. Nothing that I say should be misconstrued as buy or sell advice. You need to be your own boss. You need to do your own research. You need to make decisions based on what you have established as your risk profile. This show's for entertainment purposes only, and I hope very much that you are entertained. So let's talk a little bit about the markets. We have Bitcoin SegWit, that is BTC, sitting at $8,806. It appears to have broken out of the kind of $8,400 to $8,700 resistance zone that has been bouncing around in the last few days. But be very, very cautious. These are potential bull trap opportunities. We also have Ethereum, $552, ADA Cardano at 20 cents, Ethereum Classic, or as I like to call it, the real Ethereum, sitting at $20.27. That's up 16.9% on the 24-hour. Neo, the Chinese Ethereum, sitting at $72.75. Ripple, 70 cents. Litecoin sitting at $167.68. Bitcoin Cash $1,054. Omise Go at $11.80. Monero sitting at $224. Bitcoin Gold, the singular worst of all Bitcoin, sitting at $64.20. Verge sitting at 3 pence dash 420. Zcash sitting at $253.45 and NXT at 14 pennies, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say hi to Justin Cameron, who has joined the live stream and let me know I am coming through great in Canada, eh? It's broadcast is crystal clear. It's not jumpy and not having any troubles over there up in Canada, eh? Sorry, I don't know. Is that offensive? I don't even know. Let's see. Now jumping into the news. So first things first, I want to say that we have been in a bear channel. So if you're looking at the markets from a purely technical analysis perspective, we have been in what's called a bear channel really since the beginning of January. And a bear channel is established when, even if it's making its up and down zigzag, that the longer term lows are still lower and the longer term highs are still lower. So we are continuing to go down. However, today is a little bit of a pump up. People are excited, but be careful because these markets could turn around at any time. Now, there's been a lot of good news. We have the G20 summit is going on now. They have come out as somewhat supportive conceptually of cryptocurrency. So I think we've seen a little bit of a bounce up in the price there as people have a little bit more confidence in the technology long term. However, there also has to be a big utility jump up. Bitcoin is awesome. Okay, Bitcoin's a very cool piece of technology. There are lots of very cool pieces of technology in the cryptocurrency space. However, if none of them are having big integrations or big business partnerships or big kind God, the word is integrations. I already said integrations, though. If they're not creating partnerships that are integrating them into the real world economy to have real world means of exchange, transactional volume, then the utility is very, very sketchy. And that means that the price will be very, very sketchy. I don't think Bitcoin deserved to be a $20,000 coin 3 months ago. That doesn't mean I'm anti-Bitcoin necessarily. But I also don't want to be pro-Bitcoin just because I'm a bizarro idealist, ideologue psychopath, okay? So we need to be healthily critical of Bitcoin and the other coins in the cryptocurrency space because we need them to get their act together. We need Bitcoin to work. We need Litecoin to work. We need Bitcoin Cash to work. We need Monero to keep working. So what we need is to put a little bit of pressure, healthy, competitive pressure on the people who are working on these coins because they need to establish long-term, healthy economic utility. And when that happens, we'll see the prices explode up. And until that happens, we really shouldn't see the prices explode up because if they explode up now, what's the incentive for the developers to continue to develop? And what's the incentive for people to adopt them as a means of exchange if they just fluctuate absurdly for no good reason? That's one of the main criticisms from the plantation economy that actually makes sense to me, that the bubble of Bitcoin based on nothing but silliness is in fact silliness. And we need to mitigate that with healthy development and healthy integration into the economy. So let's see. Hi, Tracy Sherwood. How are you? Justin Cameron saying, woot. Only trouble we have up here is the potential for Doug Ford to become Premier of Ontario. Ex-drug dealer. Wonderful. Do you not see BTC as a foundational currency? Do we need it to do anything else other than being gold and a trading pair? I do believe this is the case. Justin, this is one of the questions I get asked most often about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is supposed to be a digital currency, right? Cryptocurrency is something that's used as a means of exchange. If it is not used as a means of exchange, then its primary use case becomes what Bitcoin Core, the core development team, likes to call digital gold. It's a digital asset. It is a settlement utility. Well, that's fine, but then I also believe that Bitcoin should not have an extremely high value in that regard because we have all kinds of other settlement utilities. If Bitcoin wants to compete in that space, they're going to have an extremely difficult time competing with the likes of Ethereum or Ripple. I mean, Ripple is much, 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 much better. I mean, a whole factorial differences better at being a settlement ledger than Bitcoin is. So if that's who Bitcoin wants to compete with, that's silly. I mean, frankly, Bitcoin's not as good as Swift at competing in that regard. So it's a really silly thing for Bitcoin to be doing. Bitcoin had the most value when it was used as digital cash, as a means of exchange. This is why I am supportive of Bitcoin Cash. I think Bitcoin Cash functions as peer-to-peer digital cash, as digital currency. And if it doesn't do that, then I have to ask why Bitcoin has any value at all. What is Bitcoin's actual value if it's expensive and slow to exchange? Now, I know right now the transactions are under $1. They're pretty quick right now, but it's because the usage is at 2 or 3 year lows the last time I checked. It's been a few days, but Bitcoin is not doing a lot today. The reason it is empty, the reason the blocks are emptied is because people are using it less and less. They're moving to other things, or they're moving out of cryptocurrency in this bear market. I've got Derek, I don't know if it's Blione or Blione or whatever, something like that. Altcoins should be paired with fiat like BTC. BTC-backed coins is bad. No, I agree completely. I think Bitcoin, right now, people talk about, well, altcoins are traded against Bitcoin, so that's Bitcoin's primary utility. And again, I say that's a really silly thing to have utility as, because most of these altcoins don't have any value either. So if Bitcoin's only value is being the exchange standard for other coins that have very little economic value, it's a very shaky foundation to be building Bitcoin's value upon, which we have seen, have we not? If you look at what the charts have done, well, the charts have all bled with Bitcoin too. Bitcoin didn't earn its $20,000 spot. It didn't earn it by creating big big integrations into important things. Bitcoin earned it purely through hype. It was hype on Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CBOE futures exchanging, and just kind of the general hype that it was going up. Bitcoin went to $20,000 purely on FOMO. I got Zach Sarver saying shilling Bcash as usual. I was a big block supporter for longer than Roger Rivera was a big block supporter. I think that big blocks, if Bitcoin didn't have the smallest block size in all of cryptocurrency, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Bitcoin has decided to arbitrarily cap the block size at 1 megabyte, which is silly in my opinion. Almost every other altcoin, every functional altcoin out there has a larger block size because they have to be able to deal with volume output. And Bitcoin right now has decided that it is good, that it is a healthy piece of its economics to be expensive and slow. They say that that is something that's giving it value. In fact, Greg Maxwell, the chief technology officer at the time, he is now the former chief technology officer at Blockstream Corporation, the company that funds Bitcoin Core, the SegWit, the team that funds, let's see, the SegWit adoption and Lightning adoption for Bitcoin Core, the core development team. He was breaking out the wine. He was saying we are pouring champagne because the average fee is over $40 on Bitcoin, proving that, I don't know, that it's a great long-term store of value, that it's slow and expensive like gold, which makes it great. And I just frankly disagree. I think digital currency, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology is best when it is cheap and quick to transact, that it settles quickly and immutably on the blockchain. I'm also opposed in a lot of ways. If you look at where Blockstream and Bitcoin Core has taken Bitcoin, there's now reverse by fee. If you want to Google RBF, you want to see one of the reasons that I'm opposed to SegWit. SegWit activation on the Bitcoin chain made it that all transactions, if they are sitting in the mempool, if they're not fully settled on the Bitcoin blockchain, they can be reversed. So you can send another fee using your wallet and you can take your money back. So you can reverse a transaction. Now, the main thing that I got into Bitcoin for was because nobody could stop a transaction. It could not be reversed. It didn't require trust. There did not have to be trusted third parties. And SegWit activation changed that. I have been opposed to SegWit activation for about a year and a half. Since the first time I read about it, I looked at it and said, I'm sorry, stripping the signatures off of the blockchain, putting them, replacing them with what's called witness data in the blocks, especially on something with a 10-minute block time, allows there to be all kinds of opportunity to defraud the blocks, to defraud the blockchain. So Bitcoin, the current BTC chain, is a very, very different animal than Bitcoin was even 6 months ago. After August, the August 2017 activation of SegWit changed Bitcoin very, very much. It's very different today. The transactions are not immutable. They are not a continuous chain of digital signatures. They can be reversed by fee. Lightning is a whole nother mess of things that I don't really like. Again, it's trusted third party. Lightning is a thing on top that is going to be required in order for Bitcoin to function. I'm not even opposed to Lightning as a concept. I think a second layer settlement network is a cool thing, but not if your first layer blockchain is no longer immutable. That's not healthy. That's not what we got into this for. It really means that something like Venmo or PayPal is cheaper, faster, and more reliable than Lightning Network and Bitcoin itself. What's up, Ellie Reza and Tony? How you guys doing? So Zach Sarver, I'm not here to say that Bitcoin Cash is the greatest thing in the world and that everyone should buy it. Bitcoin Cash could certainly fail. The thing that wins may not even exist yet, okay? And that's okay. What I do like is that Bitcoin Cash is the thing most like what got me involved in Bitcoin in 2013. When I first bought Bitcoin, it was $329. I got into it because I looked at it and said, wow, I can transact business with anybody in the world. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can reverse it. People can see my transaction, but they cannot force me not to do business with whom I please. Well, things are a little bit different today. Now, I'm told that peer-to-peer digital cash is a silly concept and that Lightning Network, that I would need to have an always-on internet connection to conduct business with people and that I'd have to bounce from person to person to person to use Lightning Node. And if my Lightning connection goes offline, if I lose internet or power, even for a moment, it will settle my transaction to the blockchain against my will, using SegWit no less. So we've got the whole RBF thing again. It's very, very complicated. It's unnecessary complication on something that was already working just fine. Now, a ton of developers in the Bitcoin universe fought the current guard over at Bitcoin Core and said, hey, why don't we just raise the block size? And it turned into a giant war, and you got this Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SegWit split. So if you liked Bitcoin in 2017, if you liked Bitcoin in January or February or March of 2017, then you should like Bitcoin Cash today, okay? Because it's the most like that Bitcoin. The Bitcoin of today is a very different thing. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing. I just don't like it. I don't like the direction that it's going. I don't like the software and managerial centralization. And I also think that the centralization stuff about Bitcoin Cash is worth being talked about. You know, and we can have that conversation. That's what we're here for. That's what this whole Crypto Traders Pro universe is about. I'm not here to tell everybody what they should or shouldn't buy. In fact, there was a disclaimer at the beginning of the show letting you know I am not a registered investment advisor. But let's have that conversation. So, Zach Sarver, not shilling, man. The only coin I shill for is Monero, and it's because Monero is awesome. So, let's wrap this show up. Let's talk about, let's see, going forward. My internet's been goofy today. I was off yesterday because of had a whole bunch of personal stuff going on that I can't go into. But don't worry, I'm okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Occasionally, I got to dip out of these shows because you know, middle of the day, and there's other business to be done, unfortunately. But we're gonna be doing episodes here at Crypto Traders News on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we will be doing episodes at the Sovereignty Network on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So join us at both locations. We'll put these up after the fact. They'll be available on YouTube. They'll be available here on Facebook once they're edited nicely, which I do myself. My wife was nice enough to teach me how to do some basic video editing, make these videos more fun. So please join us every day, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time here at Crypto Traders News on Tuesday and Thursday, and the Sovereignty Network here on Facebook on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm Kurt Wuckert Jr. As the peace sign makes his way into the frame, I want to say, be good to each other. Do your own research. Explain to me deeply. Look into why Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash have had a split in the first place. Try to prove me wrong about Monero. Try to prove me wrong about everything that I talk about. Because if you become educated, if you can teach me something, that would be awesome. I would love to learn from you, everybody. This is a conversation that we're all having because we're all trying to change the world together. And rather than arguing about what's good, what's bad, what's great, and what's imperfect, we should be working together and realize that what we are doing is trying to change the world. We're trying to take power away from the hierarchy so we can do business with whomever we please. That's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm here anyways. So once again, Crypto Corner Live. I'm Kurt Wuckert Jr. Join us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and you can find me on Twitter too, but very much appreciate having you. CryptoTradersPro.com. Kurt Wuckert out. Bye-bye, people.